Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel Shout Out to Books, where we discuss anything, everything related to books, stories, fun, plot and whatnot. Hope you guys are doing well. I am going to talk about the movie today, which I liked a lot, and it was released in 2020, although I have watched it multiple times till now, and I really like the movie. The movie name is FootFairy. There were so many stars in it, like there was Gulshan Devaya, there was Sagarika Khate, Kunal Roy Kapoor. These people were there and all other who have performed very well in the movie. Why I'm going to talk about is because this movie is open-ended. So if you guys haven't watched it, go back and watch the movie, then come back here, because I'm going to reveal so many of its theories in this video, because I was passionate about finding out who the killer was. This is a mystery thriller, so let me get started with the story first. Okay, at the end of this video, I'm going to suggest some of the books which are quite similar with regards to most of the qualities of these movies as well. So let us get started. So the movie is about a killing rampage going on in Mumbai. There were like two murders first, which were handled by Mumbai police, and later on, because of the urgency of the case, it got handed over to CBI, and the movie starts there. So Gulshan Devaya, who has played the character Vivan Deshmukh, he is the CBI officer, assistant joint officer of CBI, and the movie starts with him getting a call about a murder which has recently happened, like overnight it has happened, and the murderer or the killer only targets women who are like young age, and he only performs killings around railway station. He makes sure that CBI or police officers are not able to find the actual crime scene. What he does is he kills a person somewhere else and gets her body into the bag, a trolley bag. But there is a weird thing about this guy is he also cuts the feet of victim and takes those feet with him or her. So in the starting, this killer is called as the trolley killer by media. Later on, he somehow manages to write on the belly of one of the victims, stating that he would like to call himself FootFairy. So that's where the killer gets the name FootFairy. So as this is a serial killer, the method of the killing or method of the murder is going to be same, although there are some pattern changes later on. There is, as the case goes on, they find out this guy is obsessed with feet, mostly because he only kills victims who are wearing open footwear, not the sneakers or not the shoes. In the 4 months, there are around 4 bodies. So his confidence is increasing day by day. Our CBI officers are getting so much in trouble because of that. Media is pressurizing them. There are so many characters. First is Vivan Deshmukh. The next one is his girlfriend, is played by Sagarika Khate. Her name is Devika. Then there is third person whose name is Harsh, who is Vivan's assistant, or also he's friend of his. Then there is Rishabh, who is into cyber and stuff, again his assistant. Another one as Mishra. This Mishra person is, he's not shown in the movie, but they keep on talking about him, like in between. He was very good at finding the clues. This Mishra person keeps on appearing in the viewer's mind also. They say that he's bald, he has lost all his hairs. These are the characters which, when you are watching movie, you feel as if you are suspecting them, including Vivan. The first killing, when it happens, they try to find so many clues and it doesn't happen. Then there is the second one where his confidence is increased, or I think third one where his confidence is increased, and he does not try to hide the crime scene. There is the first victim's prayer. That's where Vivan says that, okay, because he is a killer and it feels as if he is having this obsession with killing, that he wants to control somebody's life. He wants to, as a psychopath, he wants to act like a god, that he has a control over somebody's life. So obviously he's going to show up at the victim's prayer. That's where they take their first chance, and 3 of them, Harsh, Vivan and Rishabh, are watching a location where this prayer is happening, expecting a murderer to visit that place, to visit her grave. Actually, killer shows up there, but what happens is Rishabh, accidentally he makes a noise and that killer goes away. He runs away. They try to find that killer a lot. They follow that guy, but they do not get him. Then there is this neighbor girl of Vivan. Her name is Richa. She is in college, and he keeps teasing her. He keeps talking with her. He even drops her to college sometimes. He asks her, when do you leave your home? When do you reach your college? So which local do you take? As we know, the killings are happening only around local, and Vivan's curiosity also makes us suspect him. Later on, we also get to see Devika's obsession. So this Devika, she talks so passionately and so obsessively about one of the killer who was a necrophiliac. Then Vivan in response talks about one of the killer, Jerry Brudos, who was actually so obsessed with women's feet. We suspect everybody in this movie, so it makes you think. I like open-ended movies because, or open-ended books for that matter, because they leave so much of scope for us to imagine things. And there's this Rishabh guy who keeps on dropping small details. Like when they are watching CCTV camera, Rishabh is the one who introduces the angle of a taxi driver. He says that he's wearing khaki pants, maybe the guy is taxi driver. So that's where it makes you a little suspicious of Rishabh also. Later on, what happens is there is this joint in Bandra which is handled by Kunal Rai Kapoor. His name is Joshua Matthews in this movie. He's obsessed with feet. He goes to foot spas whenever he's in joint. So this is a burger place, and whenever ladies are visiting that place, he always observes their feet and he comments or compliments them, or he suggests some moisturizers. That's quite weird. We get sus about him because of his obsession for the feet. So Vivan gets so confident that this is their guy. This is the FootFairy, like Joshua. Because Joshua, according to many of the people around him, he goes away for 3-4 days after every murder happens, and he's from Mafsa. Like he has came in 4 months, I think, in Mumbai. Prior to 4 months, he was in Mafsa in Goa, and there also similar kind of stories have happened. Like similar kind of killings has happened, and there were 2 bodies found in Mafsa also with the style of FootFairy. And when they get the search warrant against him, Vivan gets a search warrant against him. That's where he gets to see him in his boxers, and he see that on his shoulder there is a scratch. So it's probably, he assumes that it's probably victim's nail scratch. So that's where he actually digs out one of the victim, which was handled by Mumbai police, and there are chances that they must have missed this clue. He does these many things only under impression that Joshua is their killer, because he has a perception in his mind. Then there is another angle where Devika has introduced Joshua's name along with Rishabh, and later on he's so confident that he hits him and gets into the defamation case at the very end. And after 7 years, we get to see Vivan and his team meeting. Like, not the team, Rishabh is in Russia by then, and Harsh and Vivan are at one of their chief's funeral. And when Vivan actually arrives at the railway track where these killings used to happen, there's this little guy who comes, a little boy who comes there and says that, "Uncle, what are you watching? आप क्या देख रहे हो? Because आपके जैसा ही एक और इंसान यहाँ पे आके गया." And he was saying that he left a red color bag there for 7 years back. And that's where the movie ends. I know I mentioned so many things in this. I'm not sure if I made so much of sense to you guys, but I have one theory, okay? So what I did is I would go with the tabular manner. So first is obsession. So who is obsessed with feet? One is Devika, another one is Joshua, and Vivan. He seems to be interested in this kind of things because he's the one who brought that Jerry Brudos topic when he was talking with Devika. Another one is passion for killing. So that's Vivan, Devika, and that's all. In this manner, if we go ahead with Harsh, who is not obsessed or passionate, but there are chances that he might be the one, because that boy who said that he was looking just like you, so probably it was Harsh, because he was right there in Mumbai. Although back then Vivan has already moved to Bangalore and Devika was not there. Devika was married and she had a baby girl with Vivan, and she was in Bangalore. So that takes her out of this equation. Then there is the proof. So most of the proofs are against Joshua, and there are too many distractions also. Like there is this taxi driver that they found. Then there was this another distraction, which was like a guy who actually was caught in sexual assault, and then they also interrogate him and find out that he's not the one because DNA tests are not matching. Then at the very end, Joshua's DNA tests were also inconclusive, so we can't really say they were matching. Then there is another person, Mishra. So prior to that, there is another person, Rishabh, although is in Russia, but most of the distractions introduced are by him. So there are chances that Rishabh is our killer. And the last one is the Mishra, who only appears in their dialogue, who is not in the movie. And there is one thing which crosses everybody outside of, in our list, crosses Devika because of the feet size, and remaining 3 are crossed when they are seeing the killer. They followed the killer at the time of first victim's prayer, Vanessa's prayer. So that crosses them off. But Mishra doesn't get crossed anywhere. So there are chances that this is our guy. And another reason what I think Mishra might be our guy is because it's a remake of Korean film. The name of that Korean film is Memories of Murder, and in that it was made in around 2013 2013 or something. Her killer was found around in 2019. So that movie was also left open-ended, and their killer was somebody from the former police officer who was unsatisfied with his job. Mishra was transferred. So I think there are chances that Mishra was our guy. My theory concludes that Mishra is the FootFairy. Vivan is also shown in the movie watching this Korean film, which is quite interesting. So Vivan has some trauma from the Yamuna river case. So that trauma is one factor which goes against Vivan. As a little boy said, somebody else who looked like you was here. So it can't be a girl, and it can't be Rishabh because Rishabh is in Russia. My first answer was going to be Devika when I first watched the movie. But later on when I watched it second time, third time, so that's where I realized that, oh no, I think Mishra is our guy. There was this reason why I was so obsessed with Devika being killer. It's because when she is at Vivan's house, right, and when she meets Richa, she says, oh, she's so cute, and the next victim is Richa. As I had mentioned, at the end of this video, I'm going to talk about the books which are quite similar with regards to the storyline of this movie. And those have the cliffhangers or the open-ended. The book that I am going to talk about, the first book that I see is little bit similar to this movie plot, is the Silent Patient. Because in the Silent Patient, I was not able to get who was the killer or who was the responsible person for all this situation. So story goes like this. Alicia is someone who does not speak. She is in the psychiatric ward and she is facing some mental issues, but she does not speak. So she is the silent patient, and the person who is treating her is writing this book. So this is in the first person dialogue. And Alicia was caught when she was holding a revolver or a gun, and she had killed her husband. But after that, she just shuts herself and she doesn't utter a word. Whenever somebody is trying to talk to her, there are incidences where she has attacked them, and it's very interesting. At the end, you will be shocked. It's a small book. The next one is not a crime thriller. It's definitely open-ended, and it leaves so much space for our imagination. Even once you finish this book, right, after 2 weeks or something also, you are going to keep thinking. Its name is Kafka on the Shore by Haruki Murakami. Haruki Murakami's work mostly is a cliffhanger sort of work or open-ended. But open-ended books are entirely for reader's perception. So in this book, there is this guy who is in his teenage or is in his young years, and he tells everybody his name as Kafka, and he has left his house. He is working somewhere, like he is staying at a hotel which is quite cheaper, and then he starts to work in a library where he meets this guy who is transgender, who is really witty. There are so many good dialogues also. There is this guy's life, and there is another one which is going on in parallel. That guy's name is Nakata, who is old, little slow. He has had an incident in his childhood where he was picking the mushrooms during his school days. Prior to that, he was very smart, but later on when he actually fell unconscious there, and when he was taken to the hospital, that's where he became so slow. So Nakata is the old sweet man, and he can talk to cats, which is quite unique. This book goes in parallel, and there is this relation with Kafka and Nakata that you have to come up with. Now this entire book is a magical realism. It is so good, I can't really explain it in the video. Then next one is again Haruki Murakami's Norwegian Wood, open-ended. Here queries from your side will not be very difficult. There is this guy who is in love with his childhood friend Naoko, and Naoko has had the trauma. They were 3 friends, okay, this guy, Naoko, and her boyfriend, and later on her boyfriend commits a suicide, and how their lives are affected with this. Although this guy loves her so much, what happens later on, and this relationships and trauma and loneliness and everything. It talks about the mental health. So I like such work where ending is open for us to think about and for us to imagine stuff. So if you look for the Kafka on the Shore, right, you will see millions of theories online, on Goodreads or on YouTube, where people are talking what exactly happened in that book. So make sure to read these books, make sure to watch this movie if you haven't really already watched it. So let me know how did you find this video in comment section, and let me know of your theories also in the comment section. Okay, and make sure to subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much guys for watching it till the end. Have a great day ahead.